here's now just examples, and for me this is not big issues, but it definitely shows the difference in attitude towards the Springboks, I feel, and the Lions. Not saying cheating, I'm saying having the narrative being imprinted that we are more into foul play and to dangerous and reckless play than the Lions. But when you actually compare the different things, tackling and so on, you'll see there's not a hell of a difference. So the first one here is actually just a clip where even Etzebeth first tackles a guy, and then he slides down into Frank Mostert, and he actually then get penalised for a yellow card. Not for a yellow card, for a penalty. So that's a penalty.
Yeah, it's high.
And then Morris called it high, and they come back for the penalty. Here, Bongi goes in for a tackle, and it's a safety belt tackle, like we all call it. It's around the shoulder, arms around there, and we accept it. That's the way he's going to referee the game. It's quite early, and he sets the standard there, and we accept it. The problem, however, is when you look at the following.
That's what the penalty is for halfway.
If you now compare this tackle here, where Damon Derlender carries the ball, and he carries it in here, both, and you can look from any other angles, both number 21 and the centre, both have seatbelt tackles around Damien Derlender's shoulders / neck. Now the explanation here is that Damien Derlender had a level change here. Now again, the same happened with the two tackles where the South African players tackled. There was also a level change, but this was not penalised, and according to Nic, there's no force in these tackles, so that's the reason why that was not penalised. It's difficult to understand because what we've experienced so far during this year, if you tackle around the shoulder and neck area and you do a safety belt tackle, it's a penalty, but that wasn't refereed when they tackled us like that. So we try to highlight that for you so you can see that. That was obviously also something we wanted some clarity on, which we didn't. Here is obviously the big debate, which is mind-baffling. If you look at the score, 19-17 again, the 63rd minute of the game, Willie catches a ball, Hamish Watson gets him. I don't think anybody can argue that he tips him beyond the 90, and Willie lands on his shoulder / back and could have landed on his neck. So I'm not saying there should be a red card, but I can see nothing less than a yellow card here. I haven't seen one incident like this in the last 5 years where a player has got away with less than a yellow card here. So again, if you look at the reaction here, and I'm again going to talk about the respect the referee shows towards the South African players compared to the Lions players, which we actually prior to the game discussed with the referee and said to him, just give both teams the same amount of respect. You can see all of our players appealing and immediately recognizing that this is a dangerous tackle. They all show that. Nic says it. Nic sees it. He gives advantage for that, and then he just calmly says, there was a bit of a leg lift. He says, a bit of a leg lift. Now, again, now we'll play it back, and we refer it back to the TMO, to Marius Jonker, which is the person that Warren Gatland has openly now put so much pressure on during the week, because he is now the TMO, which again we had no control over. Marius had no control over, but obviously that's the way Warren put through the media pressure on Marius on that, because knowing Marius and knowing the laws, that should definitely be a yellow card. Again, on minute 63, it means that in the next 17 minutes they will probably only play 6 or 7 minutes with 15 men on the field, which is the way the law should be refereed. Now again, you hear the wording, it's just a bit of a leg lift, Nic calls it. Now they talk through it. Willie stays down injured, like all the players in the world do after they've received a spear tackle, and then eventually he just gives a penalty. So it just stays a penalty, and I think the whole world knows by now that that should be a yellow card. Now, again, you see it slow motion, he lifts him beyond the horizontal and he drives him into the ground. So yes, that's a weird one, especially on minute 63. But I'm going to move past that. I guess this is the one where people probably won't disagree with me on that. So we'll go to the next one. Yeah, this one, again, this one I can accept that it's tough for the referee to see, but it's, again, you're lifting a player's leg and driving him into the ground. I'm pretty sure if somebody sees this in slow motion, and maybe Marius Jonker didn't see it, and maybe the referee didn't see it, he's just making sure we feel it's a similar action. But yeah, he feels there's not enough force for this to be a penalty. So if you look at Mapimpi here, Duan van der Merwe is coming from outside. Obviously the law states when there's a player bound over a tackled player, there's already an offsides line. So Duan van der Merwe can't come in from that side. That's the first offence. And then the second offence, they're picking up both legs of Mapimpi and driving him into the ground. Now again, you know, if that's allowed and you can do it, by all means, just tell us. We would have loved to hear that on Sunday night. Then we could have practiced that on Monday morning or on Tuesday morning, and not only getting the results here. But according to me, this is very dangerous. You'll see Duan will now go, and there they pick him up and is horizontal, and he gets driven into the ground. I don't think actually you can be in a worse position when it comes to that. But again, you know, the feedback is that, yeah, it's not that bad according to Nic.